Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bushwhacking History in Buffalo with Berserker Bear. Right off the jump, Paul, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for the super chat. Can you guys hear my audio? Bear with me 1 second. I got a new setup here, so. All right. So, yeah, Paul, thanks, man. Sounds like we're good. Looks like we're good. Did you guys like that cartoon? Old school Tom Tolles. All right, Paolo, good to see you. Yeah, I got a new setup here. So I got a boom stick, boom mic for the mic, and new headphones, thanks to my beautiful wife. And good to see everybody. We got Canna Dummy, always good to see you. Hanging out, chilling. So what we're going to do tonight is, obviously, you guys heard about the blizzard during Christmas. We'll just get right into it. I got a cool slideshow, and we'll learn about the blizzard that just came through on Christmas. They're calling it the 2022 Christmas blizzard. And we're going to use one of my books to compare contrast against the blizzard of 77, which was the last crazy blizzard here in Buffalo. General overview for you, what you're going to expect. And we'll I'll hop back and forth. Hopefully some more people come in, but we got 10 people here. I'd appreciate if people stop in the chat and say hello and give some feedback as to what you heard about this, because we're going to go, okay, let's get this off of the screen. We're going to go over what happened, and I got the chapter of the blizzard of 77. I took a bunch of pictures out of this book that I got my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, got me this a couple of years ago, fitting with how I have an ever-growing book collection. So that's what you're going to expect tonight. We're going to check out some crazy footage of this blizzard, the most insane storm that I've ever lived through up here in Buffalo. So let's get a couple previews going on here. Yeah, so look on screen, that's a cartoon from, you can see it, 2001. Talk about a throwback, old school. Anybody who lives in Buffalo, that resonates for sure. And this past week for Christmas, I'll tell you what, like I just said, it was the most crazy one that I've ever endured. It was insane, y'all. So if anybody has feedback, I know that there was pretty much an entire, almost countrywide storm. We're not going to necessarily get into that, as I'm going to focus more specifically on what we went through here in Buffalo. So just to give you a brief overview, this is the slideshow that I'll play. We're going to start from when the actual thing started, which was, on the 23rd, I believe. And I was doing a little bit of last minute shopping. So we'll take you through the day and the days after it started, obviously, like a video log, and then we'll go through and do some specific compare contrast again against this book, which details not just the blizzard of 77, but other, I mean, come on, load in, other historic significant blizzards and storms in Buffalo. But we're going to focus on just the blizzard of 77. Pull from that book. Hopefully that loads in. We'll see some real cool pictures from my photo gallery and the family. I mean, look at this, y'all. My brother just sent me this one. What's going on here? Load it. My brother just sent me a couple of these pictures. That's a house that's on the side of Lake Erie. That a lot of houses and cottages got frozen over. So we're going to go through that. We will check out what the mainstream is telling us about this storm. And we'll give a shout out to Reed Timmer. Actually, that's a real quick radar depiction of what the duration of the storm, fast speed, we'll see that. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Reed Timmer because he's if you like crazy weather, I remember this dude had a show back on Discovery Channel where I think it was called Storm Chasers, and he would chase tornadoes. So I've been following him ever since, and he actually came here a couple weeks prior to Christmas for the crazy storm that we had down in the South Towns where we had like 7 feet of snow. And then he came back for this one, right? So I would recommend going and checking this dude out and how he covered it. Also, check this. So 2 weeks ago, I had dropped a comment when he first posted this, giving us a forecast of what to expect. Now, I did not expect what we went through. And again, you're going to see it. You're going to see me walking down the street, going to the store, seeing the plows come by, tracking the plows. It was hard for them to get through our streets in the city of Buffalo because the wind was so ferocious that it was so compact. I never seen or shoveled snow like it. So we're going to go over it. Reed Timmer gets it. If you like crazy weather, I recommend going and checking his channel out. You know, I appreciate it if you let him know who sent you, because he did, every so often I'll shout out the Bills. Prayers for the Buffalo Bill who, you know what's going on. I'm not going to get into that whatsoever, even say his name, but prayers go out to him and his family for specific reasons, but God bless, right? But yeah, Reed Timmer gave me a reply there, so that's really cool. Shout out to him. He does some crazy stuff. So he was here. Recorded, I want it to be too loud. So he was here. He got pretty much similar footage to what I got. Wait till you see the things that I got on camera. It's similar to this. This is at the, right now, let me turn this up a little bit for myself so I can hear. So yeah, he was here and he documented it, and he actually got stuck here. He's at the marina. I mean, it's tough to hear. It's insane. And I have footage similar to this. So I'm going to hop back into the chat and I want to show you guys this too. So we're going to go through all that. Not going to be too long, but as long as my bandwidth should be fine. I got my Ethernet cable. I'm going to hop in the chat and say hello, get acquainted and oriented, shout outs and all that. But this is my parents' house, which is about 3 or 4 blocks to my right, very close vicinity to my family. Their neighbor, whom I grew up with my entire life, obviously. I've cited them before that they have a cottage in Canada. This is that cottage. It was the seiche that I've detailed before, and I do have a video on it that I'm going to recommend. It's called Bushwhacking SNL Hipfire episode from about a year ago, where I detail exactly what and define what a seiche is, how it's a standing wave that gets blown towards one end of a lake or a pond, and it's effectively a standing wave. So I highly recommend checking that episode out of mine because I define exactly what a seiche is, and I showcase it and I show what it is. It's extreme weather. Again, if you like crazy stuff, when nature hiccups, as my dad likes to say, you don't want to be in the way, right? So yeah, we got that. Check that out. I define the seiche. I also have episodes where I define, you could just look up bushwhacking history, lake effect snow, for example. And I did an episode on that. So yeah, we're going to get into all that. No, this is my friend's cottage. Again, my best friend, my oldest friend, my neighbor from my parents' house. He now lives in Canada. Shout out to Jayzo if you're watching this, bro. I can't believe this happened. I know your dad's been fighting that lake for ever since that we can remember. Now, gentleman that owns this cottage, his name is Dickie. And well, we call him Dickie. I haven't inquired as to how bad the damage is yet, but I don't know. I thought initially when I was talking to my father about it that it might not be too bad because it's like a solidified eggshell effectively, but man. So, all right. That's the side of the house facing the lake. And the wind was so unbelievably sustaining. Okay. That if you watch some of Reed Timmer's videos, he'll say that it was 50 mile per hour sustained winds. That means that it was constantly 50 mile per hour and like 80 mile per hour gusts. That's going to push the water up. And it pushed the water up so much and it was so cold that it froze. That was another factor of this storm. And what we're going to read about it, we'll get a general overview of what it is and how Buffalo was affected. And not just Buffalo, but this is Port Colborne, just outside of Port Colborne, Canada, a town called Wainfleet. And I've been going here my whole life. That's what happened. I mean, this is unbelievable. Unprecedented storm. And then we'll hear about from the Erie County executive and the mayor and their take on it. And you may have heard about some looting in Buffalo, but that was minor. And you get that element with any kind of natural disaster. Unfortunately, when the services can't come in, like I was saying, it was tough to get streets in. My car was plowed in for 5 days, guys. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't move the car. And you're going to see that. So another long-winded intro from Dustin. Let's go back into the chat and say hello, and we'll get through reading the definition of this. Why is this not loading in? You know, everything is perfect before the stream, and then there we go. So we're also going to compare and contrast against all the old timers or the boomers, you'd say in quotes, here in Buffalo will say that the blizzard of 77 was the craziest until they experienced this one. There was a loss of life, unfortunately, but we're going to compare it. We'll read this. I'm not going to read all of, this can get, when I talk about long-winded, this can get long-winded but we'll see. We're going to get feedback because this shows pictures of what happened. Also, like articles and firsthand accounts of the craziness that occurred in the 77 blizzard. Specifically different than this one because it wasn't a ton of snowfall, but the lake was frozen over, Lake Erie, and there was a lot of snow already on the lake, just sitting there. And the wind blew it into Buffalo at the blizzard of 77. So, okay, let's see what's up. So we still got, the Great Deception podcast. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Everybody take a look at his profile on Instagram and his YouTube channel, obviously. Great research, very interesting. And I appreciate all the feedback that you give, man, and the support that and the props that you hook me up with. I really, really do appreciate that a lot. Again, sometimes I think I'm just talking to the speaker here or the furnace right across from me. So, all right, let's go read this. Let's read the data here. I'll try to play some tunes. and we'll get into it. Anybody has questions, please put them up there. And we'll say what's okay. So can of dummy. How you spell that? It's like okay. Let's actually go find that out right now. Here goes the hip fire thing. Let's do it. SEI. How do you spell it? Can of dummy asks. SEICHE. It is like a storm surge, and that's what Reed Timmer calls it. Now I'm going to make a I think I can make a hypothesis here on a certain aspect about what the tide is, if you will. So let's real quick define cursory search what a seiche is. We'll go into Wikipedia. But again, I got a video on this where it's a lot more in depth. So whenever you get a chance, guys, that helps me out. You know that. Appreciate it. So a seiche is a standing wave in an enclosed or partially, this is important, or partially enclosed body of water. Seiches and seiche-related phenomenon have been observed on lakes, reservoirs, swimming pools, bays, harbors, caves, and seas. The key requirement for the formation of a seiche is that the body of water be at least partially bounded, allowing the formation of a standing wave. So keep that in mind when it says, partially bounded. Margaret Walter, welcome. Ice jams block up the, she says, ice jams dam block up the American side of the fall. Yeah, it does, absolutely. I got to get footage of that as a matter of fact. So, all right, so back to the seiche. Thanks for stopping in, Margaret. It is a standing wave, and it's very similar. It acts exactly like a storm surge, or you can say that it acts like tide. Now, my hypothesis is that maybe the tide might be a type of a seiche if you incorporate the firmament idea. And Bill Nye is actually on record saying on a YouTube video that the Earth is a closed system and we can't leave or whatever. All that does for me is corroborate that the firmament is the thing. This is the closed system. Now, the north winds, keep those in mind. What are those being referred to? Like in Disney movies, like Frozen, for example, comes to mind. My daughter watched it when she was younger. Still does every so often. Where the north wind meets the sea, there's a river full of memory. Now, that's referring to, in my opinion, Hyperborea, the 4 islands in the north. If there are northern winds that blow into, for example, this is just purely hypothetical, and I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying this is definitely a claim whatsoever, but I'm thinking about things, and I see it, and you're going to see what the seiche does actually physically. And if you had watched my video before, you have seen it. I have some insane footage, guys. It's unbelievable, and I get right up on top of it. So that said, you can see how the wind pushes water to one side of a semi-enclosed system. You got a little bit of a let out in here. Let me show it to you. The winds are going to come from the southwest Buffalo, so pretty much the exact angle of the lake. That's why you get such a crazy seiche, because it funnels down into here, and the level of the water rises like 5 feet. We've gone over this. It's pretty crazy. If you take that and apply it to the possibility that the firmament is enclosed and water does hit, wind does hit the water as the north wind or whatever, would that also cause a seiche in the entire system of the firmament? I know that's a crazy concept to ponder, but so is a lot of astronomy. Now, it would act as the same mechanism. And actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show that right now in my older. So if you go to my older video, Bushwhacking SNL Hipfire episode, defining a Lake Erie seiche and more. Timestamp is going to be 0117 for the boat harbor. Let's go check that out. It could be construed a storm surge, because effectively that's exactly what's happening. It is surging the water, but it's more specified. I believe that.
Okay.
Well, let's figure out why. Again, this is hip fire here.
That should have been the right.
No, thank you.
Sorry,
It's
y'all.
a standing wave in an.
All I want to do is show you the fact that
I do believe that it is. I agree, Bansa.
at one time the water is below the docks, and when the seiche comes in, it moves up like 10 feet. Okay, it looks like a tide, but it's not a tide, it's a seiche. Is there a correlation there with what possibly the tide might be? Is there a northern wind? Does it blow into the firmament twice a day that will cause the seiche? Who knows? Just something cool to think about. Anyway, let's get it going now. Yeah, PT Ripa, what do you think about that? This is the kind of stuff I want to hop back and forth and get feedback. And then I'll start the slideshow, and then we'll get into it, and then we'll read exactly the definition from the mainstream. Okay, back in the chat. Can you guys hear my... I want to make sure that everything's working copacetic. First time I'm using this whole boom mic setup in my new headphones. They sound great. So thanks again, babe. Margaret Walters says, the word chicane, like an artificial narrowing or turn in a race course. Just guessing. That's exactly what is happening in the river when the lake meets the river, and it funnels it, so it magnifies the effect of the seiche. So let's get to that footage. This is crazy. Canadummy says, I think tides are the land rising. Ooh, that's pretty gravy. This is the kind of insight that I like to get back in the feedback. This is what I love. I appreciate this, guys. Okay, Canadummy says, I think tides are the land rising and falling as it breathes, not the water changing level. That's very interesting. I've never even thought of that concept before. Wow. And that's the kind of stuff that I like doing here. I'm not saying that that's a fact, that it's the northern winds blowing on water that causes a displacement, and it reverberates throughout the realm. That would be something that you can test to see where the tide actually starts first and then ends. If it reverberates from the northern, let's pull it up. The Gleason, I should have had that up already. So what I'm saying, possibly, or just like Canadummy came out and said, hip fire with some gravy. The idea of the northern winds, keeping that in mind, it is referred to in the media, truth drops, you want to call it, or whatever. Again, I just cited the Frozen off the top of my head, but there's other references to it in media. If it's coming in, who knows, directly down from the pinnacle or whatever, I don't know, and it reverberates outward. Could the tide actually be seiche? I guess that's the question that I'm posing. And again, I'm not saying that's 100% for sure whatsoever. It's just hypotheses that I've thought about once, and I'd like to share it. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is me doing a little bit of last-minute shopping for the fam, and I was at Niagara Falls Boulevard. So we're going to triangulate and correlate, show you guys where I am. This was Best Buy, Niagara Falls Boulevard. Okay, so I'm on I take a meandering drive home because it's just starting. It's whiteout conditions, and you'll hear me reacting to it as I go. And that's kind of where the video log thing comes in. As we go, I'll stop it and look at the chat and get some feedback, because it's gonna start to get pretty real. Hopefully this all loads in, because sometimes my computer acts funny when I have all these windows open. But I should be good. And now we're gonna read it right quick, and then we'll get into that playlist, or the what do they call it? Slideshow. My word. All right. So the December 2022 North American winter storm, from December 21st to 26, 2022, a historic extratropical cyclone created winter storm conditions including blizzards, high winds, snowfall, or record cold temperatures across the majority of the United States and parts of Canada. Areas which experienced blizzard conditions included parts of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, New York, and Ontario, with the Buffalo area of New York and the Fort Erie and Kingston areas of Ontario experiencing almost 2 full days of blizzard zero visibility conditions. The cold wave affected all U.S. states from Colorado to the eastern seaboard and as far south as Miami, Florida. 55 million people were under wind chill alerts the morning of December 25th. The storm and the related cold wave killed at least 102 people, with 41 of those deaths occurring in the Buffalo area. Yeah, it was crazy, guys. It was that's why I wanted to showcase this and get it on record, because it was historic. It was unbelievable. People get, somebody was asking, how does one of my friends, talking to an out-of-stater, one of his friends from, not from New York State even, how do you get caught in a blizzard so much so that you get trapped in your car and you pass away? Because that did happen. It's because it comes on so fast and so heavy that people stop their cars on the motorway or a throughway or expressway thinking that it's going to pass. And it doesn't pass, and it keeps going harder, and it doesn't pass, and then you can't get out of your car for fear of literally losing yourself in a whiteout. That did happen, unfortunately. And then you freeze, you run out of gas, and that people were in their car for days on end, guys. It was very serious. So for posterity, and because like I said, I like to showcase what's going on in my city, I feel compelled to share it with y'all. So again, thanks again for being here. As well, Brian and Matt, it's good to see you. Guys, still talking about that the tide, huh? Yeah, in my opinion, it's not from the moon. I got to get used to how long this new cord is. Pretty cool. I like these new headphones. They're awesome. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, please say some prayers. I certainly did, for those that have lost loved ones and lost their lives in this unbelievably unprecedented storm. And unfortunately, it magnifies it even more that it was on during Christmas. So 41 of those deaths occurring in Buffalo area, where the lake effect snowfall exceeded 55 inches over the 5-day period. The storm caused extensive vehicle pileups and road closures, particularly in the areas affected by blizzards or adjacent to those areas, with a complete driving ban imposed in Buffalo for 5.5 days. It was unreal. I couldn't get out, though. I was completely buried in. Due to the storm, in excess of 18,200 flights were canceled in the U.S. for between December 22nd and 28th, while hundreds more were canceled in Canada. Buffalo Niagara International Airport was the most severely affected, as it was completely shut down for 5 days. Numerous intercity passenger rail trips were delayed or canceled in the U.S., while in Ontario, via train service between Toronto and Montreal or Ottawa was completely suspended for over two days due to derailment. Oh, wow. About 6.3 million. Where's RV Truth? Uh-oh. This must have been written by a Mason. About 6.3 million households in the U.S. and 1.1 million in Canada were without power for some part of the storm. Joe Cool, what's up, man? Good to see you. Joe Cool says, I lived in Michigan for many years, and I believe you all get hit heavier in Buffalo than here. Oh, okay. That's some feedback for you. Yeah, we get that heavy lake effect snow. And again, I got a video about that where I detail and define exactly what it is and why we get it and what why we're equipped to handle pretty heavy snow. But this was just so crazy. Like I said, the wind was so hard, it was a factor because it compacted the snow more. I've shoveled obviously my whole life, but this was a different type of, and it was tough for the regular plows to get through because of the compacted nature of it. And again, we're professional shovelers up here in the Northeast and in Buffalo. For the exact question that you just posited or just said, Joe Cool, that we get it pretty heavy. Philip, good to see you. How you doing? Happy New Year, everybody. Also, and Merry Christmas and all that. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Philip says 55 inches in 5 days. Well, yeah, it's insane. Well, a couple weeks prior, we had like 6 feet of snow, man, in like 3 days. I mean, not in the Buffalo metro area, more in the South towns. But yeah. And then now, here's the deal. Right now, it's well, earlier today it was like 40 degrees. It was raining. That's really weird. That's one thing that struck me. All the snow is pretty much melted right now. So, yeah, good seeing you, Joe Cool. Thank you, and Philip. Brian Metz, always good follower and supporter. Appreciate it. Says could see some significant seismic activity because of the flare. Oh, we had a flare, a solar flare that we was able to be recorded. PT Ripa says, I started looking into the tides this year. Notice the heights are higher, closer to the north, New England versus the south. Okay, so that's the gravy that I'm looking for, feedback. And if we can like corroborate that or get some more feedback from maybe a bigger network or a net, I'll look into that. Because I mean, we got bears. There's bears around, dudes from the research community. Philip Druzinin in Crusha, Campbell in Australia. So yeah, that's gravy. That's kind of lining up with what I might hypothesize that you would see maybe more significant heights more towards the North Pole than radiating outwards, or it would start there first, or you could get a time on it, but that's extremely extensive and ambitious. But that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for here. Brian Metz says, check. Yeah, Dutchton. Yeah, shout out. He's super interesting, the work that he does. Absolutely. So he posted a video clip of the flare. Anybody interested in checking out the flare? Brian Metz just cited Dutch Sense, another great channel. He's got some footage of it. Check it out. Let him know who sent you. And that helps out, y'all. Okay, so yeah, okay, the storm and the related cold wave. Read that one. 1.1 million in Canada. Where the storm was unofficially named Winter Storm Elliott by the Weather Channel. The National Weather Service in Buffalo, New York, described it as a once-in-a-generation storm for Buffalo. And NOAA's Weather Prediction Center stated it was a historic Arctic outbreak. So, you can look this up at your leisure. I'll keep this open and maybe reference it back. But now let's go over to, we're going to close that. Check out Reed Timmer. If you guys like crazy weather, he's all about that. Let him know who sent you. Dude's an OG legend. Okay, yeah, this is, I don't even know if this is worth showing, but let's just get it out of the way. What this is the radar loop of the storm, so you can see it go over our area. It's going to be picture in your, well, you don't even need the picture in your mind's eye. Right here, Western New York, northeastern tip of the Lake Erie is where that radar loop is showing right over. So just see how it, for 2 days, this is effectively. And I'm going to put it on slow motion too. Okay. So look at the green. It kind of looks like a blade. And there was a storm a while back called Winter Storm Knife. Like it kind of like cuts through. And this thing hovered back and forth. That's why it was so devastating. Look at that. This is like a 2-3 day loop. It just stayed right over. Now, it's not like it's uncommon for this to happen. I have to say that. We do get those weather bands, and they're almost like fingers that come off the lake. And it's quite common. This one is just like it's so massive, and it stayed and lingered for so long. Again, unprecedented. So that's the radar loop for you. Wanted to show that also. And that's my episode of Defining a Sage. All right, read about it. Here we go. Now this is where the fun part's going to be. Let's see how this goes. My phone's running out of battery, y'all. We're going to get it done. Okay, so let's get back to the Best Buy. So I take a slow ride back home after I was doing, like I said, a little bit of shopping. So I come down Niagara Falls Boulevard, and one of the roads that I believe was an old school, possibly canal back in the day, is Sheridan Drive. So I take Niagara Falls Boulevard, this road right here, center screen pretty much, and then I turn right, but you're going to see left. And these are kind of like your side roads. Okay, that's like not going on the thruway, which is what we recommend here in Buffalo when it's getting crazy out. So without any further ado, oh, there's one thing. We just read about the specifics of this storm we just passed. Let's read a storm summary of 77 right quick. Keep this in mind, and we're going to go through the slideshow. Blizzard of 77 slammed into western New York with unparalleled fury. Sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, gusted to 69 miles per hour. RV Truth. Creating near zero visibility for over 12 hours. So ours was like over 48 hours of like sustained 50. My house was shaking. A deep snowpack on Lake Erie was picked up by the winds and deposited into the city and suburbs to the east. Tens of thousands were left stranded, many for days, as roads remained completely blocked. Drifts reached 30 feet in rural areas. Some families trapped in their homes had to be dug out. The storm claimed an unprecedented 29 lives and marked the first time in the United States history that a region was declared a federal disaster area due to snow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Okay, so that was a blizzard of 77. I heard about it my whole life growing up, that you never heard anything like it. People were stranded at family members' houses for days on end. And that happened this time as well. So What do you think? I'd love to get the feedback in the comments. I know a lot of old school Buffalonians like to watch my channel, so to hear that feedback and get it in the comments, that'd be awesome. And we're going to see how this goes. Hey, what's up, JJ Organ? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
Here we go, Buffalo.
Happy New Year.
Bushwhacking shopping.
That was a little bit lackluster. Okay. So now I'm driving.
Okay, here we go. This is Buffalo. I'll document this so-called storm that we're supposed to get. Shout out to Reed Timmer. But this is the Niagara Falls Boulevard right now. And Berserker Bear reporting in. So the last storm that we got like 3 weeks ago, where it snowed like 6 feet, up where I'm at in Riverside, Buffalo, the most northern part of Buffalo, we got like 3 inches. So we're getting it right now, and we're supposed to be getting it for a while. So I'll keep reporting in throughout the day and document it, video log type of deal. Buffalo. All right, so this is Niagara Falls Boulevard, and we're driving towards Sheridan Drive. And I'm gonna go film the river right now because we're gonna get a Niagara River Lake Erie seiche. That should be pretty interesting, and I've done a video on that before, so check that out. All right, Berserker Bear signing out. God bless. Merry Christmas.
Wait till you see the seiche, guys. It's unbelievable.
Okay, here we go. Driving down Delaware Road. This guy's a champion right here. I've never seen, there's broken tree limbs in the street. I've never experienced wind and snow like this before, I don't think. So I'm gonna predict that the river is gonna be pretty crazy. Okay, so I'm taking a little bit of a meandering tour home right now. Now I'm on Delaware and Kenmore, about to pass Crosby Field, and it's getting pretty hectic. It's getting pretty hectic. CNC Music Factory status. There goes. That's where I played football. All right. I'll report back. 9:30 in the morning. The last video was about a half hour ago.
Okay, now it's getting bad. Now I'm like, whoa, this is
Every so often when a wind gust hits, it's whiteout conditions.
I never
This is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's 25 degrees right now. It's below freezing. So buckle up, Buffalo.
So what I wanted to do was pause it at the date and the time, but I'm on the slideshow. So you know what? Let's actually. This is live hip fire, y'all. So don't mind me.
Buffalo. Freezing. Below 25 degrees right now. It's below freezing.
Sorry for the redundancy.
So buckle up, Buffalo.
Where was it?
Out conditions. This is extremely dangerous.
Okay, yeah, for like video logging, and that's why I call myself the scrupulous bushwhacker, not for the apparent reason that it's a glaring contradiction, but I do like to do bushwhacking as far as my research goes. hop out anywhere and take video, but I pay attention to detail. So I am a scrupulous bushwhacker. So I like that. But yeah, for the sake of paying attention to detail, that's why I wanted to come back to this and show. So it's 9:46 in the morning on December the 23rd. This is when it started. 25 degrees. Again, that's where the danger comes in. Below freezing, okay, and consistent 40 mile per hour sustained, and then you get 70 mile per hour gusts. If you're out caught in this and you get disoriented, it's curtains. It's curtains.
Because it's 25 degrees right now. It's below,
Let's
below
continue the
freezing.
slideshow.
So buckle up, Buffalo.
Okay, so JJ Organic says, right, basic information helps keep tabs on things. Yep, definitely. I agree 100%. Joe Cool says, hey, yeah, where's Michael Joshua? Good to see you, dude. Where you at? Jerusha McBear. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Good to see you. Got the lights on right now. Loyal Triangle says, I wonder if winter is even a real season. Well, welcome. Looks like a new username to me, but if you've been here before, I apologize, but either or, welcome. Let's see. That's a cool one. Okay, so yeah, thanks again for stopping by, everybody. Let's get to the video log. JJ Organic says, I do not miss any. So where are you from, if you don't mind, JJ? Where were you from, and then where are you now? And don't feel obligated to answer. There you go. Michael Joshua Lewis. Welcome, friend. Good to see you. Happy New Year. And let's continue the show. Good to see everybody.
This is what you got to watch out for. Holy shit.
Pardon me.
Wow, uprooted.
This is right around the block from my house.
It'll kill you.
Now, look at the roads now. Pay attention to the roads, guys. Oh,
Wow. Wow, Buffalo. This is what you got to watch out for. Holy shit.
Pardon my French.
Wow, uprooted. It'll kill you. Wow. Wow, Buffalo.
Okay, from Michigan and now in Florida. Gotcha.
Okay,
Cool.
video log continues.
My aunt lives in West Palm Beach.
10:30. I am driving southwest down Vulcan Street. The left side of the screen is Buffalo, Riverside, Buffalo. The right side of the screen, is town of Tonawanda. So this right here is the most northern part in the city of Buffalo. Okay, and right around the block from old Berserker Bear's house, go figure. It's kind of interesting that I am in actually my street is the most northern Buffalo street, because this is Vulcan. The next one over is my street, Rush. And because Vulcan is half Buffalo, half Tonawanda,
I'll detail
old
that.
Berserker Bear's street of residency is the most north street in the city of Buffalo. As a matter of fact, I want to drive to the river. Okay, right here is Riverside Park, and we're facing at the very end of it. This is not a dead end, but it ends at the river.
This is my hood,
190. the Niagara section of the 190. We'll drive. I'll record. This is video logging. Whatever they're going to call this storm. I'm not sure. Look at the wind going over.
I'm not sure if you can
I'm
see
not
the
sure
wind.
if you can see that, but this is pretty unprecedented winds
There you
here.
go.
And a shout out I recommend for meteorology on a YouTube channel or Instagram, that legend Reed Timmer from the old school TV show.
He's not paying me, y'all.
A Discovery.
I realize
think
how many
it was
times I
called
plugged
Storm
him.
Chasers.
It's a little bit
Get a listen to this wind howl.
pro homo type of deal, but
Well, that's the river, and you can't really see it.
yeah, you're looking right at the Niagara River right there, right across the way. I'll show you the path that I took after this video, after this little clip on Google Earth, just so you guys get an idea of where I drove from to.
Okay, so what I plan on doing is documenting this storm, video log the storm. Maybe I'll present it soon, during, or maybe afterwards. But I want to document the Seiche, that is a standing wave that is going to push all the water towards Buffalo and towards Niagara River, and that increases the level of the river exponentially. And we're going to document that. And right now I'm on my way to the foot of Sheridan at the boat launch, because that's a good indicator in the river, a place that I can get to fairly quickly to show the rise in the level of river. And that's called the Seiche, a standing wave, and I have documented that and detailed and showcased what that is and defined it in a previous video.
Redundant.
All right, well, we're coming up to going over the
Redundant
190 right here. And I'll be entering the boat launch. And there you go, 190. And as I've documented before, as we're going over right now, this is the footprint of the old, well, up along the river, it keeps going, Erie Canal. Okay, so we're gonna get a ride in. Got to be careful here in Buffalo driving. I can't believe I'm filming this, but we're professional shovelers and snow drivers up here. All right, here we go. The boat launch. This is gonna be cool, y'all. Thanks for sticking with me. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Usually the Border Patrol hangs out right there, and they're not here right now.
Shout out to the Border Patrol. Yep.
Oh yeah, we got a Seiche.
Watch this,
We
guys.
have a Seiche. Let's get out and check it out. Oh yeah, this is a big boy.
No, sometimes the Seiche
Oh, yeah.
isn't have waves like this.
Wow, how
So
cool
again,
is that,
it's
huh?
it's like a tide, but it's only associated with wind. But what if there is a regular occurring wind in the north? Just hypothesizing. High tide, y'all. Is the tide a space from the north? Get the gears turning on that one. Crazy. I love going down there. I was just down there earlier, and wait till you see what I saw on a nature level at the boat launch. Oh yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it freeze up? But anyway, so like I said, the parking lot I was in was this Best Buy. I drove down. You heard me say Niagara Falls Boulevard, right? And then I turned down Sheridan Drive. And then made it to Delaware. And it's where my high school is, one of these main streets. I believe it's this one right here. And that's Colvin. So yeah, like left, right, back home. And that was effectively the path that you seen. And then I went all the way back to my home stomping ground right here, Riverside. Now, what I was talking about, let's get some orientation here. When I was talking about Buffalo and Tonawanda being bisected by Vulcan, that's what I mean. If I were to look up buffalo, I love doing this hip fire. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, so that delineates buffalo. Again, like I was explaining with my street, which is Rush, doxing myself. I don't care. Look in the yellow pages. Okay. Oh, you lose the red line when you do the 3D. Anyway, left is Buffalo, right is Tonawanda. So that would mean Vulcan is half Tonawanda, half Buffalo. My street is Rush, so geographically speaking, my street is the most northern, fully Buffalo street there is. Kind of fitting. What do you know? Okay, that was that. Let's see if we load it in a little bit more. Continue on. Wait till you see this, guys. I'm again long-winded here with my presentations, but I hope you like it. I haven't had a video out in a while, so it certainly is what it is.
The left side of the screen is Buffalo, Riverside, Buffalo. The right side of the screen,
Yeah, Dust. Okay. High tide. Oh, let me show you that also. So when I say the boat launch, or I say the foot of Sheridan, where I like to go, it's right here. This is the town of Tonawanda, small boat launch, and I'll park my car right where this dude is, facing the water. And I do a lot of live streaming from there. Well, I used to on IG. And I'd go there to gather my thoughts because it's well, I like it. It's really pretty, and I've been going there my whole life. So super nostalgic. I appreciate this kind of stuff from my past, and I still live here, and I'm grateful. So that's the place. And that's what I mean when I say the small boat launch. That's the field work, as you'd say, boots on the ground, how it looks. And we'll continue on and say, oh, okay. Brian A. Metz. Holy moly. Wow, dude. This dude just dropped me a $50. That deserves a huge shout out. Thank you very much. My word. That's the biggest one I've ever got. That's awesome. It means the world to me. That is so cool. Thank you, brother. God bless. My family thanks you. I'm trying to buy this house that I'm in right now, so that really goes a long way. And again, don't feel obligated to anybody, but that is much appreciated. Philip says Brian is the real. Yeah, you guys are all team players. If you're here, you're a team player. Okay? But yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. Thanks again.
dangerous, but we're on Niagara Street right now, headed south.
Why didn't that play audio? Okay, so I'm going to see the Seiche now. Hit Niagara Street, which is right here now. Keep in mind, I've said, and we know this from history, but the 190, which is this beltway right here next to the river, that's the old footprint of the Erie Canal, and it continued north up here. But where I'm going is I hit Niagara Street, which is right here, and I continue onward, and where I'm going, just so you know for orientation, is down here. This is where the Seiche is the most, as far as a place in the city where I can go and show you, not just at the boat launch, right? The boat launch is more gradual, though, okay? This is way more dramatic because you got the river on the left, the canal, that's actually where the canal still stayed, on the right here. And this thin strip, I mean, I've showed before in my Seiche video, it gets completely inundated. And that's where I'm on my way to right now. I do show that a Seiche. Let me see if I can prime you guys up with this one.
Chilling up there. They got working crews working on some lines.
I think. Like that one guy doing this. Okay, now this is a minor seiche. We got heavy winds here. There's water. This is when it's a little bit. It's high. The canal is very high because the canal gets constricted a little bit more. The river is a lot wider, obviously, so you're going to have more of a dramatic effect in the.
Yeah, wow was right, Hippie Shake, isn't it? This is so. Remember the picture from before, where I was standing?
Isabella Live, thank you. Super
That's the
chat.
seiche right there, in action. I could see when I
So,
first
okay,
read that.
I'm glad I found this. I was looking for this earlier, and I apologize, but notice how it is right now. I can actually make it to the pier. Which is right here. Okay, I can actually make it here. That's not the case with what happened. We're about to see. So yeah, I'm going to close this window out. This shows you that I can go up to the actual walkway, and it does get a lot more. But check out my Bushwhacking SNL Hipfire episode, defining a Lake Erie seiche. And also, if you scroll down, or on some of my videos that have monetization, I do have super thanks that you can actually super chat me through the thank you underneath videos. So again, I appreciate that, y'all. Help Berserker Bear purchased a house that, my great grandmother Frances passed away in. Who a lot of the books that I have are from her. So don't feel obligated, and it's all donations, but it goes towards the Berserker Bear Research Fund. Okay, that's enough with the petty begging for scraps, huh, guys? All right. So yeah, that's where I'm going now. I went from the Erie Count, or the Tonawanda small boat harbor, small boat launch, making my way south to go to the Bird Island Pier to try to get video footage of the seiche that started out this unbelievable blizzard. And thanks again for being here, guys. Please hit like, share, subscribe. How's the audio doing?
Complete whiteout. Got to put the hazards on. Right now it is 21 degrees, whiteout status, and I'm on my
Thank
way
you.
to the
So
foot
cool.
of ferry to document more of the seiche. I'm almost there, but this is dangerous. But we're on Niagara Street right now, headed south towards the foot of ferry to document the seiche, and we got stuff on the ground at the river, at the Bird Island Pier. Yeah, people backing out. This is Buffalo. This is the Buffalo Blizzard, and I'm going to document it because we got a dual action going on here: blizzard and high winds from the southwest, and that creates the seiche. So I hate to repeat myself, but you got to underline, italicize, and highlight the cool stuff that I have here in Buffalo. So here we go. Best raviolis in Buffalo right there. Best raviolis.
Definitely. Gondola.
And we're also coming up to the Jubilee Center, Gothic City Antiques that I bushwhacked a couple of weeks ago.
Got a couple shows on that one.
With John. There it is.
Shout out to John Horan. Gifted me my Niagara Falls book.
Jubilee.
There you go, Jubilee.
I'm cool with it. All right. Next time you'll see me, I'll be on the Bird Island Pier.
Shout out to Utzik Signs.
Documenting that seiche.
Played basketball with Mike Utzik Sr. and Jr. Both very good men. Grew up at, going to the boys club with them. Town Boys and Girls Club of the North Towns. I've shared that with you guys before. Those of y'all that have been here for a while. So let's go. Really dangerous. I'm starting to realize now, like, man, should I be doing this?
Tell you what, I'm hitting all the green lights.
It was worth it, though.
Wow.
PT Ripa asks if it's possible to influence the stage through weather manipulation. That concept is true. I think weather manipulation is true. They were definitely doing it in a very rudimentary sense in Vietnam, where they were doing cloud seeding, making it rain, trying to flush out and flood out the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So that's very general. Think about it, though. If they were doing, Paul, if they were doing cloud seeding in Vietnam, and allegedly they stopped the program, but it went to black ops or black programs, and they're still doing it. Where do you think they are now? Not to stoke the conspiracy claim here, but I would assume that they have the ability at least to manipulate at some capacity, more so than cloud seeding. Yes. Good question. Yeah. Then Brian, exactly. Harp can. Maybe, maybe. I would recommend a book called Angels Don't Play This Harp.
I'm pulling on to
about that.
the foot of Ferry right now. And we're gonna see the Seiche.
Oh, okay. Chocolate Smurf says you have no idea how much Buffalo is like Louisville, Kentucky. Interesting.
Now this should be very cool.
Sorry to bring that up, man. Yeah, right.
Kind of a
PT Ripa says,
creepy,
just thinking about Agent Orange now.
Erie Canal right now.
Crossing over Erie Canal right now. Yeah, I agree. But I would say to that, everything is still a choice and an offer. If you have your faith and you live a good, solid life, I really, truly believe that no harm will befall you, especially in what we seem to be in the Kali Yuga or a type of apocalypse. It's just a revealing, Underground Railroad, very significant here. I'll do a video on that soon too. I keep on adding to the list. Okay, cool. Isabella Live, thank you. Good audio. I appreciate the audio checks. The sporadic. All right, here we go. Now, I just left my car, looking back towards it. Now I'm heading towards the southern tip of that Bird Island Pier, right where it meets. And I'm anxious at this point in time, trying to, I'm wondering what I'm going to see. How bad is it going to be? How crazy is it going to be? Water's already setting. So it's heavy on. I could not make it up to the actual pier itself. Like I showed you earlier on the little bit of a lot less of a smaller Seiche. This was huge. And I don't even believe this was the worst of it because this is just in the beginning. And I would have gotten back down to it if I could have gotten my car out of my parking spot. But once I got back home after this, it was curtains. It was nuts. I had like a mountain range, like a ridge, a drift from one street to the other. Literally for 5, and usually like we're very good about getting our clouds.
Couldn't even make it there.
Yep, couldn't even make it there.
Wow, coming over.
What do you guys think? Some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. So yeah, it was probably a lot worse after a couple days of this. Again, this was just right in the beginning. This was still on the 23rd. I still got a whole bunch more footage, y'all. Not too long. I'd say maybe about 20 minutes more.
Highest I've ever seen it.
There goes the canal. So the canal gets higher. Look at that, right up to it. Unbelievable. Nuts. I love this stuff, though. I wish I could do more of it. Um, I wish I could do more of it. Cool picture, huh? Brian Metz says, my oldest son is active Air Force. God bless that. Thank you for his service. PT Ripper says, so it was raining first, like a slush. And then it turned into, here we go. This is right in front of my house. Yeah, it was like a freezing rain. Oh.
That was awesome.
Okay, so now we are at home and we're there. That's my car right there, right there. Okay. So we're hunkered down now. We're just
Wow.
waiting. I got supplies and everything, and we're listening to reports and all that. And a lot of people, a lot of kids haven't really seen. I've never seen it. Shouldn't even say it like that, but I think a lot of people got a little complacent. This is my backyard. Complacent with the weather in Buffalo. Like, we're known for it, but we can handle it pretty well. This really came out of left field and smacked us in the mouth. Because again, I couldn't get out my car. I couldn't get out. Now, Tonawanda, as I detailed earlier, we're so close to Tonawanda, they were able to get plowed out a lot sooner because they have mandates where you can't park on the street. It's a lot smaller municipality. It's not congested like the city is, and there's cars parked. So luckily, I was close. I do live close to the border, and my family is close, who are in Tonawanda, and they had their streets down to pavement way quicker than Buffalo did. And it's not a knock on Buffalo. Buffalo is one of the best snow removal cities, best equipped cities that deal with snow removal. I would say, I'd say possibly in the entire realm, to be honest with you, I would. That said, you can't always control nature. So that's, all right, I'm not sure, I'm going to pause and narrate a little bit here on the cool picture, and I'll hop into the chat. So this is my street. Now, you really can't see it. It's not exemplified too much, but there's like a ridge. I called it the mountain range of Resch because it went from this street all the way to the other street, and it was like 4 feet high. And I'm telling you, it wasn't like soft snow that fell, guys. It was compacted. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go back and forth because I want to address we got the data from, I want to share this with you guys. Not the whole book, but what I'm going to do is I'll make sure that I link this. I can create a link. Now, this is the chapter in the Blizzard of 77. I want to make this available for you guys. So what I'll do is, if you're interested in reading this, it'll be available in link form below my episode at the very latest tomorrow, because I think it'll be a little bit too much to go back and forth, but I still want you guys to be able to see it, because my data is your data, effectively. Any way I can share it to you, short of giving you the actual book, I will. And if I don't, in previous episodes or videos, I just forgot about it. Okay, so forgive me. In this case, though, because this is so significant, I will make sure to leave a link to this if you are interested to read this chapter on the Blizzard of 77 from that book. And we'll close that out. Yeah, frozen over Port Corbin. I'll show you actually where that cottage is soon, but let's get through this. Now, yeah, the mountain range of Resch. Unbelievable. All right, what says in the chat? Isabella, which is right across from here, a couple hours drive, all melted snow now. All melted. Yeah, it's Isabella Live 2.0 says where you're at. Where are you at, actually? Are you in Fort Erie? Please excuse me if I have been told before and forgot. But yeah, it's almost all melted. Really is pretty crazy. Brian Metz says our military is paying a terrible price right now because of mandatory procedures. Yes, God bless. All we can do is keep our heads up and our faith up. I mean, that's all we can do, guys. Be there for people. It's you guys need to have positive thoughts and not ignorant to the point of ignorant. Be wary. Watch your faithful six. But I believe, in my opinion, we are in a type of apocalypse. And again, in my opinion, that's not a bad thing. We need to keep our wits about us. We need to keep our faith up. And you can count on me to be positive about everything. Again, maybe to a fault. But yeah, I agree with you. We're all paying a price in a certain capacity. Brian Metz, just we keep our heads up and our faith up. And I promise you, the light ahead in this tunnel that we're all in, it's not an approaching freight train. You know, don't be pessimistic about it. It's beautiful daylight. We keep moving towards it, right? They're at the top of their Babel, they're at the top of their Babel tower. And each next stone to place, it costs so much more in lies and debt and usury and riba and haram and blood, sweat, and tears that it's going to, in my opinion, collapse. It might be tomorrow, might be in 50 years, but we keep our heads up. Moving. There you go. And, humor is a very good pressure release valve. Okay, Windsor, Ontario. Okay, gotcha. So, Sarnia, Niagara Falls. Okay. Hey, I could use it for some field work up there. I'll keep that in mind. JJ Organic says we moved to Gaylord, Michigan in 2018. And that winter was the heaviest snowstorm it had been. Oh, really? Interesting. Go figure, right? That was a nice welcoming storm for you, huh? JJ Organics. Chocolate Smurf. That's a very hilarious username, dude. It got way too warm here, Morgan, right after negative 33 wind chill. Okay, wind chill. That's so crazy. That's deadly. That storm, of course. Then it was suddenly 60 degrees. Yeah, we are, that'll get you sick. That's the thing. Like, but here's the deal. I think our realm is going through a type of metamorphosis as well. So is it like, I hate to always be like it's like they're doing it, because that kind of gives them too much credit, guys. You got to think at a certain level we operate stuff, and then we're also responsible at a certain level for what they sell us too. And I'm not talking about the Jays or whatever, nothing like that. We're talking it's not like that at all. When I say we're buying what they sell, don't automatically default to it's like, oh, we're talking about merchants of sin, Jays. No, there's a lot of different type of grifters out there. They come in all shapes and sizes and colors and races and creeds and mottos and all that. But on a certain level in quote unquote civilized society, they are selling us our own convenience and necessity to that convenience and services back to us. So this is why I always underline and say before we say they, and I know I'm guilty of it too, and I'm not judging anybody for saying it, or no one's holding any judgment here. But I always underline, and this comes from my foundation of faith. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I have a foundation that comes through the lens of faith, of the Christian faith, of the way. And I respect all creeds of a benevolent faith, though. That's where it comes from. This is where my angle or my opinions come from. So you're always going to get that aspect from me. So I'm not sure where I was getting at, but let's get back to the regularly scheduled gravy. And I can't hear the audio or the music. Oh, let's go. All right, let's go. All right, so yeah, the ridge of Resh mountain range. And you heard my daughter in that previous one. Sorry, I got off on a little tangent there. Joe Cool says Revelations is not far away. Good vibes and God bless. Yes, indeed. Joe Cool. And here's the deal. You know what? If you do have your faith and you're faithful, I think you have nothing to worry about. I truly believe that. Some have a pessimistic look at it, about that stuff. I tend to be a lot more optimistic. And again, like I said, that my faith comes from that. But for example, I listen to, I'm not sure if anybody is, why is this not going? Pockets of the Future or Apocalypse Now. Love his channel. I love Paul from Pockets of the Future. Just think he's a little bit pessimistic about stuff. Does that mean that I judge him or say that he's wrong, I'm right? No. As a matter of fact, when he talks about his faithful stuff, he has a series called The Journey and how he went through his process of faith in the Indian heartfulness meditation. I'm not for that at all, so I don't listen to it at all. Am I against him? No, I don't have to agree with everything somebody says to follow them and like them. His takes on celebrities and making fun of them are hilarious. So anybody wants to get a good commentary of pop culture and how unbelievably ridiculous and contradictory these thespians out of Hollywood are, Pockets of the Future is great. And I don't listen to his takes or his The Journey series. Not that I think that it's bad in any way, but we have different faith. We're looking at the same God, I think, just from different perspectives. He has his perspective. I have mine. Same thing with faithful-based Muslims. I think we're all looking at the same God through a different lens. So who am I to judge somebody else who's looking at the same God as I? I'm not. And like, seriously, my slideshow thing doesn't want to work right now. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Again, this is a long one. I got a lot more research to do. This certainly isn't the end, but we're coming up on it. So, hour and a half, that's not bad. But as far as research goes, I got more field work to do along the Erie Canal. I think there was a star fort here in Buffalo that was mined and taken and possibly used to build the Erie County Savings Bank. I think Vikings were down through here in the Erie Canal. So I'll have more bears on for guests. I'm going to have an author on Mason Winfield soon enough, hopefully. So stick with me. This is my front porch. It accumulated a little bit on the inside because it was so windy it got in. There goes my nice little frame shot there for you. Now that's Christmas morning with the family. My beautiful wife, again, thanks for, you know what, let me, so I got the boom pod holder. Moving on up, y'all, over here. And these awesome, if you guys can see, headphones, P990. Really good. I had good ones before, but these ones are official. They're nice and soft. So everybody, my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughter, that's my family. That's Christmas morning. So it means a lot to me. It's that's why I do what I do. It's my family. And it's how I was raised. So my father and my mother, my sister and my brother. I love you guys. That's the backyard. You can't really, some of these pictures don't give it justice, but I have a statue back there. Here go the cool pictures, and they'll get me walking down the street. But I do have a little statue in my backyard. A little boy. He's like 2 feet tall, and he's completely covered. It's a winter wonderland, y'all. You know what? That's a cool pic. Come and hop in the chat here. See you guys dropping a lot of. Isabella says, I'm getting more done when I catch myself getting angry and stop feeding it, because I try And remember, I serve God, a powerful God who has got this, and I just do what he has for me to do today. That's right. That's all you could do. That's great insight and great feedback right there, Isabella. That's all you can do. Truly. I lean on him. I weigh myself against what I believe Jesus Christ would do as my Savior. And I truly believe that, I follow the laws of man by default, by following the laws of God. And that's a really insightful statement there. Carries a lot of gravitas. JJ Organic says, I tell some people in Florida that I don't know what cold feels like to go into a walk-in cooler and never. That's hilarious. You know what? I actually worked as my first job ever. JJ Organics was a dairy frozen clerk at a local grocery store here in Buffalo called Tops. Tops never stops. I loved it. Yeah, actually, I could go into the freezer or the cooler. I had to take orders and stuff like that when the dairy frozen delivery would come. I actually liked that job a lot. And then I went out to the airport. But yeah, that's my first job ever from high school. Go figure. And that's hilarious. Joe Cool says, keep your pets close and your family closer. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Brian Metz, I'll be happy to chew the fat with you. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I'm definitely down. I say, let me step back a little bit and say, I do line up a lot of stuff. I got work to do with PT Ripa, Paul, another great researcher. So, Brian, please remind me and don't feel like hesitant to do so. My email address is provided in my YouTube channel, and I am a slow-moving locomotive, and I put things on the back burner. And if I do forget, don't. It's not because I'm doing it purposely, but I do have a lot of stuff. I get ambitious, and I put a lot of things on the back burner. So I most definitely want to have a chat with you, especially if you're local, so we could, kind of put our heads together and see what's going on, especially with Niagara Falls. Also, shout out to Toronto Joubert. If you're listening, he's another excellent researcher, solid, and he's got some great ideas about what's going on with Niagara Falls too. So yeah, don't forget to hit me up. Email me so I got your email. Thank you. For sure. All right, on with the show. So you can see a little bit of it. So some streets weren't actually all the way snowed over, as you could just see right there. Some of them had sidewalks still visible because of how crazy the wind was. Like right there, look, there's an empty patch. But in other places like that right there, that drift is probably 5-6 feet high. Icy too. So this is on Christmas Day, or the day after Christmas, I believe. And I didn't need to walk to the store, but I wanted to. And I couldn't believe this is Skilling, right? Usually our municipalities in Buffalo for snow removal are on top of it. Even though it is a big city, though, so you got to give it a little bit of leeway. The fact that they didn't bring plows down, at least Skilling, I was dumbfounded. So as I was walking to the store to get some water and some supplies, even though I was stocked up, you're going to see what I saw. And it was a little bit, it was poignant to see these guys coming down through, and it wasn't the city of Buffalo. I just fell right there. What a jag off. Parking lot a couple blocks over has big, huge front loaders that plow their parking lot, and I believe that they came down and did this because the city of Buffalo has a plow tracker, and they didn't record it. They plowed this street, Skilling, for like 2 days afterwards. So that's what's cool about Buffalo. We have good neighbors. It is a city of good neighbors. Even the businesses will come into the city and help plow out as much as they can. And they did that, and you're about to see it. And we were cooped up in the house at this point for about 3 days, 2 days. This is the day after Christmas, the 26th. So, yeah, 3 days. It was it was a little poignant, and you might even hear it in my sentiment in my voice.
Buffalo's all about neighbors helping neighbors, people walk into the store, and the plows haven't been down this way yet. How we doing, man? Merry Christmas. Seeing what's going on here. So people walk into the store.
No, this is a pretty busy
Wilson
street.
Farms up here is open,
It's not plowed.
which is what I'm doing. I'm pretty well equipped at home with water and everything. I wanted to get out and see what was going on though.
And then all of a sudden, these guys come down.
And this is a main road here in Buffalo, Riverside, and the plows haven't been down yet. And I'm glad that I came and took a walk to record this, because this is what Buffalo's about. We know how to deal with our shit here.
Awesome, man. It's not even a city of Buffalo plow. He was a plow from. I'll show you guys actually. Matter of fact, me and my daughter were there earlier today.
Heavy components.
Heavy
That's
component.
how you do it.
It was a little bit emotional, actually. It was awesome.
God bless.
That was so
Look at
cool.
that.
I was like going back and forth trying to
God
follow
bless
people's
those guys
paths.
on Christmas.
Yeah.
God bless Buffalo. You ain't going nowhere, dude.
That guy was whipping.
Actually, he's probably the spotter.
That's what I figured. He might have been the worker with them because he was
He's
going a little
probably
bit
working with those guys.
too fast. Yeah.
Actually, these guys are going to go tee in on Vulcan. This will actually connect all of this road right here. If they clear this off, will connect in with Vulcan. That'll connect with Tonawanda.
There
Free
you
up
go.
connection to North Buffalo to Tonawanda. Man, everybody's following these guys.
Joe Cool
Filing
says
through.
front loaders doing the grind.
I'm
Exactly.
making it up to that corner right there.
Heavy components.
So I'll report back. And we've seen the plows going through. People can get to the stores now.
Yeah.
God bless Buffalo. Merry Christmas from Berserker Bear. All right.
Yeah, Joe Cool says front loaders doing the grind. Yeah, heavy components had to come in. Oh, let me pause this for you. So that wasn't the city of Buffalo because I got a Buffalo snow plow tracker and they update it frequently. So where those dudes were from, let me show you the street that I was walking down. Again, thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. So that street was, man, what's going on with this? Close that. This street right here. Skillen, and that's the main vein. So I detailed Vulcan earlier. North of Vulcan is Tonawanda. So, and they get their streets plowed a lot more quickly than Buffalo. So they were free. And when this was all plowed, it connects to North Buffalo down here. So that was solid. Now where those guys came from was this this complex down at the end of my street right here. Because me and my daughter drove through this little area earlier. We were driving around to see if we seen those plows, and we did. So they came from this business complex and plowed out 10 more in that street Skillen, and that's what you see me walking down to go to Wilson Farms or 7-Eleven actually. And that just so you guys have orientation as to where I am. There you go, Skillen. Look at. I always love that street name. So my name is Dustin, right? Dustin. Dustin. Dunstan. A street like three down from me is called Dunstan, and my buddies used to bust my balls back in the day, calling me Dunstan. Obviously, hilarious. Okay, so JG Organic says they don't and won't even do that in Michigan. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Buffalo, we are the city of good neighbors. People just have that inherent sense in them to do it, you know? Do I see Prometheus Peanut in the chat? That's awesome. One of my favorite usernames and channel contributors. Good to see you. God bless you as well. Prometheus Peanuts had legends in the neighborhood. Yeah, again, that's the essence of Buffalo that I want to share with you guys. There's something about my city that's very special, whether it's because it's an old, ancient city. I think that has something to do with it. Also, that it's a confluence of earth energy and water energy, with the confluence of Niagara River and Lake Erie, as well as the earth, the Terra energy of the Dragon Path and the Western Door, and all the native lore that we have here in mythology and mythos that I've detailed before. So that's kind of what you get when you come to Bushwhacking History with Berserker Bear. I hope you enjoy it. Again, I have so much work to do, y'all. It's kind of not overwhelming, but it's a lot. But I'll never stop though. So that's what you can at least count on that. My last video wasn't about a month ago, but you might expect that a little bit more. My daughter's getting a little bit older. We're going to start getting into like homeschooling aspects. So I'll still be doing my thing, but it'll be a little bit more time in between, if you don't mind. I don't know why the slideshow keeps on stopping, but oh well. We'll just do it manually. So this is the local Wilson Farms. I always call it Wilson Farms. That's what we grew up with, but the 7-Eleven bought them out like 10, 15 years ago. I still call them 7. Okay, a little bit of, there was a little bit of looting going on. Of course, the liquor store. But as far as what you've heard on the news, that wasn't around me whatsoever. That was more on the east side part of town. Now that's transit. Now here's how you get stuck in the street. And this is why it's extremely dangerous, not just because you're stuck in your car in snow. This is when it cleared up a little bit, but picture the whiteout conditions. You don't want to get out or whatever. People did get out of their car. Old people got disorientated, passed out, God bless. But the emergency vehicles can't get through when this happens. And that's why I hear people say, why will they ban you from driving? Oh, they're so tyrannical. It's like, actually, no. If you have somebody, like my parents, for example, my father and my brother had to go to one of the kids' houses that we grew up with and carry her mother out of her house during the blizzard, carry her a block into my dad's truck. And she went and stayed at my parents' house because her son couldn't get into Buffalo. He couldn't get out of his house. He called my brother, asked my brother if we can get to his mom's house. She's down the street from me about 3 or 4 blocks. And luckily, my father and my brother were able to get to her. And she didn't want to leave, right? Old stubborn, old salt. I'm fine. Mind you, she didn't have power for a day and a half. No heat. And she wanted my brother and my father to leave her. And my brother said, shout out to Kevin, I love you, bro. He said, Mrs. Dovey, I appreciate that, and you're very strong, but if you don't put your shoes on right now, your brother's or your son's gonna kill me. So my brother said that to her, and of course she got on her stuff, and she stayed at my parents' house for a day and a half. I heard stories about that, the blizzard of '77, but now it's actually it comes full circle. So again, how do people get stuck in their car and die and perspire? It gets really serious. And then here we go. The plows finally made it down. Again, these are official city plows now. And I'm taking a picture from my second for my room, basically. City plow, when I say, you could tell they got the back, the salt front. Now these guys, you got to have the front loader go. Like Joe Cool said, the front loader's coming with the heavy components. The snow was so compact; those regular ones couldn't push it all out. Not for a long street. Joe Cool says, Northern Michigan, you might find a few good neighbors, but most of Michigan is stuck up and always expect something in return. That's crazy, man. I know people are, some people are constant complainers and stuff, but they have a whole area like that. That's kind of foreign to me, so that's unfortunate. Hopefully it's not like that where you're at in Florida. Brian Metz says, honk before you knock. That way you don't get shot. Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of that, there was looting. And we're going to see some insight on that from the town commissioner and stuff. They're going to speak on the looting and whatever. But one of my best friends stood up in my wedding, is Muslim, and he was born in Palestine, actually, Mookie. If you guys follow me for a while, you may have heard me mention him. But his family is on the west side. Now, the west side is a little bit hood, I guess you'd say, but where the looting was really happening was on the east side. There was a lot going on there. But my friend whom I just cited, Mookie, has family in the west side, and they have a couple stores, corner stores or whatever, the bodega stores, but we call them the Habibi stores because they're Muslim. We want to talk about community and stuff and family. They heard that there was looting going on. The family comes and watches the store. Muslims. Now, again, I'm good buddies with Mookie and his nephews. Great kids. They hold it down. They were guarding their shops with shotguns. Luckily, nothing happened. So, but that was the west side. There was little stuff here and there. People probably breaking into liquor stores, like was happening in my area, Riverside. But the Muslims have a very tight community over in the west side, and one of my really good friends is a part of that community because his family still owns those corner stores, the Habibi stores. So this is so that's you can't really see the ridge right now. And my neighbor got his truck out. He's got a beast of a truck, but you might be able to see it a little bit. That's like 4 feet high. And I actually did shovel that out. It was a beast. I beasted that. I got it all down the pavement. It was the heaviest snow that I've ever, like the bottom of it was like a waffle cake. Unbelievable. Joe Cool says, we just finished our first full year in Florida, and JJ Organics likes it much better. Good for you. That's all that matters. God bless that. JJ Organics says, Florida is a lot nicer with people and the weather. That's all that matters then. So good for you guys. You guys made the right move. God bless that. I don't know why these ones are so small, This is my let's triangulate this one. If you follow me for a while, you've probably seen me share this before. But where that cottage is a hop, skip, and a jump away across into Canada. Directly across is Fort Erie. And then you pass Port Colborne, and a very interesting feature is the Welland Canal, actually. Pretty significant canal because it connects Lake Erie with Lake Ontario. So all the shipping that comes into the St. Lawrence from Europe has to come through the Welland Canal to be able to usurp over the Niagara Escarpment and Niagara Falls. So Welland Canal is a pretty big thing. There's also a really cool anomaly here. Not anomaly, but there's like on this road right here, Rob Skiba actually has a video of it. And I've known about this anomaly my whole life, and I'll showcase it once I get back up there. I'm waiting on my passport card because they removed having to get the V to go up into Canada, so I got to update my passport. Anyway, you drive down this road going this way, right to screen. There's a building over here. And it's an optical illusion. It's called the shrinking building. There's like a framework of these trees, right? So it almost looks like the building shrinks, and that building is right here. Now, I've known about this anomaly because the people of Port Colborne and Waynfleet know about it my whole life. And then I see Rob Skiba, rest in peace, made a video of it. I'm like, I know that place. I've actually been down this road. And there's a quarry over here too that we should jump off the bridge right there. Man, I haven't been there in forever. But yeah, it's called the Shrinking Building in Port Colborne. And if you just do a search on YouTube about it, you'll probably see other videos of it. And Rob Skiba did a video of it also. Shout out to Rob Skiba. Rest in peace. Anyway, where that cottage is Burnaby. Where are you, Burnaby? Burnaby Bay. Just so you got an idea of where that. Okay. Yep. Right there. Okay. I'll show you Dickie, also my parents' neighbor, because just so happens that one day years ago I was checking out the cottage. And guess who was literally. So he used to rent out the cottage right down here. Now this is Waynfleet. And when I say he's been doing battle with this lake for the past 25 years, he has. So this is the old cottage that he used to rent from. Man, what an awesome. He used to rent this cottage, and he purchased the one a couple doors down. And we're going to see that. I'm going to show it to you on the Google Street View. And that's the one that's encased in ice that you see in the picture. But all these cottages were. So this is the cottage that I grew up going with, going over the cottage, Canada, over the border, my whole life. Grateful I am. And just so happens that Google Earth got Dickie looking at the lake that he's been doing battle with. What a legend. And he anteed up and saved his pennies, and this is the one that he purchased now, and that's the one that's encased in ice. Let's correlate these pictures here. All right, so now he purchased that one from renting the other one down the way forever. So he like I said, he saved up and got that, and God bless. So and then this happens. My word. Shout out to Dickie, my parents' neighbor. He's like my second father. Hopefully all goes well with this, and hopefully it wasn't hurt too bad, Dickie. Yeah, unbelievable. That's the lakeside. Crazy. All right. That truck almost just got stuck right here. Trying to get through here. Oh, I'm shoveling now, I believe. You're going to see me shoveling.
So,
what's up, TR Dales? Good to see you. Welcome.
And no way.
We still got to figure that out.
But we're going to try.
TR Dales asked if there's cottages got any damage. I still have yet to hear from Dickie. Good question. Yeah, crazy, right? John Martin, what's up, man? How are you? Live. Yeah, it's been a while. Good to see you, man. Rob Skiba. Why does that name? Oh, he was a flat Earth guy. He was in with like Dave Weiss and stuff like that. Mark Sargent. He's like one of the old guard of the flat earthers. Might have heard him from the flat earth stuff. Joe Cool. Oh yeah. That truck almost just got stuck right here. Yeah, some people get bold and overconfident. Let's see if the slideshow is going to work now.
So, that's me.
Yep, there you go. Joe Cool, you got it.
No way. But we're going to try. We're going to try.
Thank you, John Martin. You've been around a while, dude. Appreciate you. So yeah, this is just kind of the video log of that crazy blizzard. It was nuts. I'll leave that the link for the Blizzard of 77, the chapter for my book. Where is it? Right here. In the link in the description below. So you can look at it at your convenience and your leisure. But yeah, 5 days in the house now. I'm stocked up good with food and water and stuff, but I'm glad I took that walk to the store that day because I got the plows coming through. And again, it's pretty emotional. Look what this was unbelievable. And we're professional shovelers up here in Buffalo, but look at how thick that was. And I wanted to get it as such, so one shot and done, one and done. So this was heavy, and it was more thick and heavy at the bottom because it melted a little bit. Sometimes you get an effect where because there's salt on the asphalt, it melts it just a little bit, and then if it gets colder again or more snow piles up on top, it creates like a layer of almost like ice snow at the bottom. And that was the case in this instance, on top of the fact that the snow wasn't just falling on its own gravity or its own weight. It was being pushed into the ground from that 50-mile-per-hour consistent wind. It was it was insane. Like I was sitting up in my room wondering, like Christmas night, if this is going to stop, and I would feel one of the gusts coming in, and it would literally shake my house. There you go. Open it up, finished it up. So I got through the mountain range of Resh, the Resh Ridge. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I got out. I shoveled the most in that hour than I have in the past 15 years. That's some heavy snow. So right now, I did want to get footage of this. We're driving west down Kenmore Street. Now, on the right side of the screen is Kenmore. On the left is Buffalo. And we'll look at that map, and we'll do some. Look at these snow drifts, y'all. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now you see pavement. Streets are down to pavement. That's Kenmore. That's not the case in Buffalo. They're both pretty bad. The only delineation is Kenmore is a part of the town of Tonawanda municipality. Buffalo is the city of Buffalo. These guys are all down to pavement. That's why you see pavement right now. The only streets in Buffalo right now that are down to pavement are the main veins, the main roads, okay, for emergency vehicles. So I definitely wanted to get footage of this street right here. This is the most northern delineation of, or eastern delineation of city of Buffalo. Or actually, no, I think it's the northern, most north, to be honest with you. Yeah, you were mistaken. But we'll figure that out. Anyway, those are the streets. Yeah, I wanted to get out and just show how, like, the contrast of, like, the main veins are down the pavement, but the ones off to the side, like, you'll still get, look at it, you'll get murdered in that. You'll get stuck. Crazy blizzard Christmas 2022. Insane, guys. Berserker it was Bear reporting in. God bless y'all. It was insane, guys. It was nuts. But I'm glad that I lived through it. My family is healthy, safe, and sound, and I felt compelled to share it with y'all. Riverside, Riverside. Welcome to Riverside. I'm not sure how much more we got of this, but I want to show you guys the newscasters because, again, the looting. Still strafing Tonawanda and Buffalo. Tonawanda on your right, Buffalo on your left. I've done this building before, the piano keys, way back in the day. These are the streets of Buffalo right now. Brian Metz says YouTube might be the devil, but it's still got some tasty gravy. Now you'll be able to see the stark contrast of pavement to
to these Buffalo streets.
I do get redundant, man.
That one looks like it got plowed out a little.
All right. Stomping grounds. Look at that, y'all. Talk about a cornice. I had that on my gutter. You're about to see. Talk about trying to purchase my house. This is my parents' neighborhood. Like I showed you before. Oh, let's get out of here. Go back to Buffalo right quick. It's cool because I want to show you guys that that parking lot, my parents' neighborhood, this huge Chevy parking lot right here. They would plow this back in the day, and they would line up the plows and the snow piles all along here and all along here, and they were huge. And we used to take our sled down to them and slide down them on the weekends because there's no parking in there. It was just empty with huge snow piles in them. It was awesome. So that's right down. That's that right down the street from me. This is literally ground zero. Feel special sharing this with you guys. That's it right there. That's the corner, y'all. The corner. And look how close I am to the river. That's why it's so special for me to share this with you guys. That place where I go, the foot of Sheridan boat launch, you're going to see how close it is right here. And then we're winding down to the end. I got a special treat for you at the end. A little family send off, and then a nature sighting that literally just happened right before I made this video, y'all. So stick with me, and again, thank you. We're coming up to 2 hours now, and wow, Slick Firmament, man. Saying what's up, dropping in. Thank you, dude. Another one of the best usernames ever made, ever concocted. Slick Firmament. Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Good to see you. There you go. Now, listen up. May or may not be the parents' house, and that may or may not be Dickie's house, my parents' neighbors who has the cottage. Doxing, whatever. Get the yellow pages. If you ain't got nothing to hide, you ain't got nothing to worry about. That's the corner right there, y'all. My buddy Mookie lives right there that I just referenced, who's got the Habibi stores in the west side. Why does it do that? Another neighbor down the street from me, that's the best bass fisherman in Western New York, Terry Jones. You heard it here first. Terry Jones, best bass fisherman, does charters in Buffalo. Parked outside of the city, so that I didn't get plowed in after I got out. Check that. That's what I shoveled. Oh, it was crazy. But rewarding. That's one thing I could say. Here you go. You want to see neighbors helping neighbors? Screw all the stuff that you heard about looting. Hopefully you didn't hear too much about looting, because you just look down the street. And I was like, I loved it. I'm like, look at everybody helping each other out, shoveling each other out. Some dude's got a 4x4 quad. That's very common here too. Some people have snowmobiles and take them out. But if you do have a quad and a 4x4, it's almost like you're expected to help out the street. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being so helpful in the chat and everything, you know. Let me wrench some of you guys. Slideshow it. People get ambitious and stuck. John Martin's always here and moderator. Joe Cool is going to be moderator. Slick Firmament moderator. Who else? Yes, there you go. It's emotional when these guys come down through, for real. JG Organics, moderator. Ryan Metz been around a minute, moderator. Isabella Live, moderator.
Yep.
Prometheus Peanut, moderator.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thanks, y'all. Very cool. So yeah, like an hour
Legend.
before, I had just shoveled. But anyway, what are you gonna do? Notice that it's a front loader, and notice how he's hardly
Spin
getting any
'em.
traction.
Spin them.
He's spinning them all right.
Spin them.
The regular plows would have trouble with this. Another thing that slowed it down, because we do have a lot of plows, but not all the plows that we have were front loaders. There are front loaders. Hey, thank you all. You guys all deserve it. I see y'all here a lot. You know, I'm not the best channel out there, but I do try pretty hard when I put a presentation out there. So I appreciate seeing the repeat
G move.
fans. Really, the wrenching. There you go. TR Dales, you've been around a minute too, buddy. Wrench you up. Yeah, I appreciate it seeing you guys. Here we go. Okay, so let me just underline what's going on here. Because it was so unprecedented, I was keeping an eye on the news reports and stuff like that, and I got 3 of them recorded, and we're going to play them, and that will tail us out. And then I got a cool family little thing we got. I'll show after the aftermath that ripped off my soffit, my house, my dad and my uncle. It's always good knowing somebody. I'll tell you what, the boomer generation, they're getting a little bit annoying these days or whatever, but have a heart for them because they were sold an incorrect bill, an incomplete invoice, and a messed up work order with our past economy. So they do know networking, and they do know skilled tradesmen and craftsmen. And again, Uncle Greg and my dad, we're going to handle that and probably put a new roof on this place. But because of the ice and because of the heavy weather, it pulled down my gutter. You're gonna see that. So, well, you can see it right now. Yeah, look at what happened. I had to get up there and knock it down. And nature has a funny way of forcing your hand. This is my neighbor's driveway. So I had to get up there before it fell down and went through the window. I went up there and knocked it down, chipped it down one by one. It was exhausting. And now I have that to deal with. But it is what it is. And again, my dad knows what to do. My Uncle Greg knows what to do. And that's what family does. Uncle Greg crushing. All right. So this is the aftermath of that station at the foot of Sheridan. And you can see how high the water came up. Look at the old
Wow, this is pretty crazy. Okay, so aftermath of the Seiche. I'm glad that I came down here. So obviously,
called you out.
Holy shit! I've never even seen it up this high. So this is this debris field right here is obviously where the water came up to, the Seiche, right?
The tide.
And then looks like we got
allegedly
some ice coming down.
And when I say tide, I don't mean that the real tide, is affecting the river. Obviously, we know that it is not a thing. If anybody wants to, or whatever, trolls or anything that weren't here earlier that heard me, then you would have heard me specifically delineate the difference between the Seiche and a tide. But I think that the actual tide itself might, in fact, be a realm-wide Seiche. So that was kind of tongue-in-cheek earlier.
the river. I wonder if that, man, I wonder if that storm and that wind broke any of the boom. Or I'm not even sure if they had the ice boom up yet, to be honest with you. But
Another episode of mine to check out is the bushwhacking the ice boom. They do put up a steel chain, effectively with steel buoys, to keep ice out of the river, and I detailed that explicitly in one of my past episodes called "Bushwhacking the Lake Erie Ice Boom."
you got water dust on the water. Some people call it fog, but fitting, I like to call it water dust. But you can see, as I've shown before, the current right offshore.
See how fast that is? And that ain't nothing.
So this is the foot of Sheridan boat launch that I always come down to. Aftermath of the Seiche. As always, Berserker Bear reporting in. God bless. Hope you like the show. All right. Please like, share, and subscribe. Catch you later.
Thanks, y'all. And thank you, Slick Firmament, man. I appreciate that, for real. TR Dales, thank you. John Martin, thank you. What do you mean called you out? I'm sure I was professional about it. I'm never an asshole. Unless somebody transgresses first, and then it's curtains. Flighting from the high ground is extremely formidable. I'll do an episode on flighting eventually. Joe Cole says, yes, but Ishmael was the first son of Abraham through the servant as well. Think that is where things started going in different directions. Interesting, some biblical insight. I like it. It's what we call in the bear community, or I kind of termed it gravy seasoned with logos. Brian Metz, I don't know enough to make any kind of argument. All right. So, yeah, that's the foot of Sheridan. How much more do we got? Because I want to show you a picture, or I want to show you, me and my daughter went there earlier. Oh, yeah, this is a cool picture. I forget where I got this. This was YouTube, Buffalo Weather. Yeah, this is another channel. And if you want to see some crazy AF Buffalo footage of that storm, check him out. Buffalo Weather. Yeah, it might be hard to find actually, but because that's a real general search term, Buffalo Weather. But you see his icon there, and if you go over there and check him out, let him know who sent you, please. I appreciate that. It does help out, like I said. But yeah, he said this is probably the most impressive picture of the Buffalo blizzard, and want to post it here as memory just how severe it was. Yeah, I believe. Look at the drifts here. I'll zoom in. The drifts here are over 20 feet high. The death toll is now up to 42. God bless. My goodness. So look at this, y'all. That gives you a scale. And that's a good place to end it on. And I got a little bit of a family bonus to end it with from earlier. Me and my daughter went to the boat launch. And then I went back. I wanted to get one last picture before I started this live, and you won't believe what you see. So that is a good picture to show scale on how big these drifts were. My word. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, no. We got those other let's watch these the news, and then we'll wrap it up with the bonus at the end. But I want you guys to hear this. It's very important. We got a minute, about 3 minutes total.
That we've had 0 fatalities.
It might not be the best. It might not be the loudest. So listen up here.
That we've had 0 fatalities, and we've had a lot of people stranded out there.
Now, when he says 0 fatalities, he's representing the North towns, not the city of Buffalo. He's representing Tonawanda, Amherst, the city of Tonawanda. They did not have any fatalities. So again, showcasing the positive side here. And I like the way this guy talks. So he is not representing city of Buffalo because there were fatalities. He's highlighting the positive side, ladle half full, glass half full. And that's what I like to do here anyway.
That we've had 0 fatalities, and we've had a lot of people stranded out there. And it wasn't because of luck that we had 0 fatalities. We had our chiefs boots on the ground out there. None of them are, as we say in law enforcement, house cats. They were out there, our chiefs, boots on the ground out there. None of them are, as we say in law enforcement, house cats. They were out there on the ground getting real-time information back to our deputies, our citizens that assisted us. And listen, I know there's stories about looting going on in the city of Buffalo and so forth, but 9 out of 10 stories are going to be great stories that are going to come out of this. We've had so many citizens that stepped up with their plows, with their snowmobiles in assisting us.
Way more good stories than bad.
That's what everyone has said. But again, I want to say thank you to the dispatchers, the deputies, our jail management division. We actually took in people in Alden that were stranded on the road and they were fed. They had a warming station. There's so many great stories. So don't get caught up, folks, on the looting and everything else, because there's always going to be that criminal element. There's many more great stories than bad stories. And there's many more great stories than bad stories. There's many more great stories than bad stories.
Many more great stories than bad stories. Buffalo is a city of good neighbors. Now this is the Erie County commissioner or something like that, and he's just showing, explaining the gravitas of how severe this blizzard was. And then it's a bonus, and that's the episode.
As I talked about yesterday with some media, a normal blizzard is very bad. It's really bad. 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts for 3 hours straight with less than a quarter-mile visibility. This was an extreme blizzard, maybe the category 5 of blizzards that can be done, because it was 70 miles per hour, hurricane force winds for 24 hours with no visibility, just a few feet. And we were the nerve center here, but we had our staff from Erie County working at home. Our 858 snow number, almost every one of the calls that was received for that was received at someone's house.
There you go. So I believe it was 50 mile per hour sustained with 80 mile per hour gusts, but you get it. So yeah, way more good stories than bad. We are the city of good neighbors for a reason. Not to be redundant, but I will underline, highlight, and italicize that stuff. And when I'm ignorant, I don't double down when I'm ignorant and wrong. But when I know that I'm right for my faith or whatever, whether it's a synchronicity that lines up with a hunch or whatever, I will double down when I know that I'm right. And I'll stand on that one. Okay, so me and my little beautiful daughter went down to the Erie boat launch, or the Foot of Sheridan boat launch, a couple hours ago. And you want to see how beautiful she is? That's my daughter, 5 years old. She loves it down here too. Okay, what's up, y'all? Here at the Foot of Sheridan with my daughter, as I do a lot. Come here myself and with the family. Say hi, Kai.
Hi.
What is that in the water scene? What is that?
What? I
What?
thought it was a crocodile.
What did you think it was?
A crocodile.
There's no crocs in this water. Careful. But yeah, so bushwhacking history. Hope you're liking the show.
Oh, and look at that building right there. See that huge building, people?
Yeah.
It looks like the Niagara building.
Yes. What river is this?
Niagara.
That's right. Awesome, Kylie.
Let's go by that
Go.
bench.
You can go sit on this bench right here, baby girl.
Let me show off. I like
Sign it Yo, off, God Machina bless. Square Bear, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Awesome. I'm just tailing it out right now, actually. But good to see you. We got to get up soon, man. You're local too. So that was little baby bear. And then I went back to get one more. Oh yeah, here we go. How come that didn't go? What's going on here? Look at how beautiful this is, guys. This is literally 3 minutes away from my house. I fish here. Yeah, buffalo in the distance. She was so excited. That little baby girl. The Sheena Square Bear. Thanks for stopping in, my man. God bless. Beautiful, beautiful. As we call a sheet of glass. Look at the reflection. That's my home. That's Buffalo. Look at that. Fitting, huh? Here's my dad, little talking about the crazy weather. How come this ain't playing?
Hi. You're fucking kidding me, right? Hey, all you people in Florida, come on up to Buffalo. Have a great time. Maybe it'll find you in the spring.
He randomly, so that was sent to me, shout out to JJ Organics and Joe Cool, like 4 days ago when this was all going on. So the fact that you were talking about Florida earlier, it is a synchronicity. And again, my aunt lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. Shout out to Aunt Kathy, love you. Some more. This is from the other day. My wife and I were driving my daughter in the backyard, and my daughter says, "Look, it's Rapunzel's hair." I'm like, "Wow, Kylie, that's unbelievable insight right there. I wonder if that's where they get it from. It's on the horizon like that." More of a more frozen over stuff. Okay, so then I went back. This is it, guys. Right before I started this live session, I wanted to get one more picture of me here at night, and then look what I see, guys. This is amazing. Oh my word. Oh my word. This was amazing. Oh my word. Meant to be. Very, very special. Wow. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. What are you doing here, buddy? Never seen these before, and never seen deer here before. Never. Wow. It was so cool, y'all. Oh, a buck. Oh my word. Look at a buck. A buck. He's frolicking about, wow. Just chilling. I knew I came down here for a reason. He's chilling with two ladies. This was awesome. Wow. Yeah, exactly right. For real. You? And then this one just sat there and looked at me for a minute. An amazing ending to this one. Yeah, right. Pew, pew, pew. He's still looking. He's still looking at me. She was still looking. I don't even want to get out. Man, I can't tell you how cool that was. And that was an accident. I accidentally elbowed the horn. I have an affinity towards animals, and I've always had that my entire life. And they have an affinity towards me. That's pretty. I got a certain vibration. I've always thought that. Well, let's continue. That's awesome. How awesome is that? I just came down here on a whim. Wow. Anyway, here we go. The final drive. So this is like the most beautiful you're going to see it, like a sheet of glass. When you're driving along the 190, you can actually see it a little bit in Canada, how the lights go straight down. When I was a kid, that effect is more exemplified when you're driving on the 190. And it actually looks like there's no water there whatsoever, and it goes like straight down, almost like Star Wars. I always thought that. Well, that was it, y'all. Okay, so this is Berserker Bear signing out for the night. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm glad I came back down here. This is the final. This is the final final clip. So, thanks for showing up. God bless y'all. We made it through the blizzard. On to the next one. On to the next episode. On to more sleuthing. God bless. Watch your six out there. I'll catch you on the next one. That's right, y'all. What a great time. So, yeah, that was the blizzard. We made it through. It was unprecedented. It was unbelievable. It was deadly, but it was an adventure, and I had it with my family. So it's a memory, certainly, and I'll never forget it. And I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you like that. I'm not the most polished with my presentation. I don't have all the digital stuff down. I still don't do editing yet. I still think that's a hallmark of my presentation, though. You're going to get the genuine me. I don't go back. Not saying anybody who edits their stuff, there's anything wrong with that at all. As a matter of fact, it's probably from me being lazy that I don't do that. But I hit record and I hit fire, and you're getting the true me. I might not be right on everything, but I'm not lying. Okay, and I'll quote Big Bear on that one. So from me and my family to you and your family, and your support of me and my work means the world to me. Everybody, I will get out the research when I can. Family is number one. I also work full time. This is a hobby for me, but it's a very important hobby for me. And I also feel compelled to share it. So I will always be putting out work. Please check out my Instagram page. If you go to my YouTube channel, okay, let's do that real quick, and we'll send it out. You go to my YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe at me. The top rocker on my YouTube, the picture right here, which is where I think the old Star Fort that's not delineated in history at all in Buffalo, in the Erie Basin Marina, I believe there was a Menno Cohorn style Star Fort that was mined and used, disassembled and used other places. I also think that the Vikings were down through here taking fur pelts out of the Northeast and bringing them back to Constantinople in the Viking Age. These are main tenets of the work that I do and put forth. And you will see me dropping data relating to that and pop culture critiques here on my Instagram. In between my videos, guys, if you want to check out what I'm doing, what I'm up to, updates on future shows, updates on what I'm doing as far as field work, where I'm going, you're going to want to stay up on my Instagram page. Okay, I drop a lot of stuff there. Pop culture criticism, pop culture critiques, movie references, movie recommendations, songs that I like, family pictures, and everything and anything in between. Okay, and I will never stop researching. You can always find me here. Okay, so without any further ado, going to come back into the chat and say what's up. Again, John Martin, I appreciate it. He says, do you first, Berserker. We appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Machinist Square Bear, got to say thank you. I thank you, Machinist Square Bear. You keep crushing with that family. Keep the faith up. T.R. Dale says, thanks for sharing. Always a fun watch. I appreciate that more than I can even explain here, man, for real. Brian Metz, my man, from a surgery. Hope all is good. Isabella, thank you for that super chat, man. Awesome. Joe Cool, appreciate you being here, man. I don't have a Patreon, no. PayPal. I will eventually, and I'll keep you posted on it. If I do, I'll definitely post it on my my Instagram, Brohim. I appreciate the inquiry, and I will get up on that. So, yeah, that's going to be it. That's an episode. You were watching Bushwhacking History in Buffalo with Berserker Bear. I'll catch you on the next one. Watch your Faithful Six. Keep your heads up. Keep it sleuthing. Check you later.